exactly can you do with these things of yours?
Well, I think I can pump 20 cc's of strychnine nitrate into him if I can get close enough.
You get this little needle through his skin?
No, I can't do that. But if I can get him close enough to this cage, I think I could get him in the mouth or
That
beyond.
shark will rip that cage to pieces.
You got any better suggestions?
JAWGUST. JAWGUST. JAWGUST is back once again. Jaws is 50, so I thought, my friends, for you to come with me as I go back to Amity. A 31-day podcast, talking 4 minutes of Jaws each day. It will be another month-long show for me, and I hope to see you there, 'cause JAWGUST is back again.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Thursday, August 28th, which means it's the 28th day of August, the 28th day of Golden August, and for the 28th day in a row, I am here podcasting about 4 minutes of Jaws to you. Today we cover minutes 114 to 118. It starts with the Orca breaking down. There's a little bit of hopelessness in the middle, and then it ends with them going through, or starting to go through, with really their only hope, their only plan, their only option. As Hooper said, do you have any better suggestions? No. But before we get into that, I've mentioned a lot how the month of August, the actual month of August, is a big deal in my family because of my niece's birthday, my dad's birthday, my parents' anniversary, my brother's anniversary, and, oh yeah, my birthday too. So every year, August is a big deal for our family. But it's weird how sometimes things line up, because August is also a fairly significant month in the world of Jaws, specifically with the great Robert Shaw, who of course played Quint. As I mentioned earlier this month, Robert Shaw was born during the month of August, on August 9th, 1927. But what's crazy is that he also died in August. In fact, 47 years ago today, the world lost Robert Shaw. I found a newspaper clipping from, I believe it's from August 29th, 1978. It is from the Honolulu Star Bulletin, which is no longer a paper as far as I can tell. It looks like it was, it was in print from 1912 to 2010, so it almost lasted 100 years. And it looks like this article was pulled in through a wire service. It says UPI out of Dublin, Ireland. And UPI, let me make sure I got that right, is the United Press International, which is an American international news agency whose news wires, photos, news, film, and audio services provide news materials to thousands of newspapers. So it's almost like, I guess, like an Associated Press or like a Reuters or something like that, or Routers. I never know if I say that right. But I shared this with former and future guest of the show, Chris, earlier today, and he said, "Oh, I thought Robert Shaw was 51 because it says here, heart attack kills Jaws star Robert Shaw, 52." And I looked it up, and he was 51. So this paper, now I'm gonna guess. Well, maybe the headline came from the paper, but it's wrong. It is wrong. So that's unfortunate that one of the obituaries that I found through through newspapers.com. And I will I'll stick this image in the show notes. If you go to fansonexperts.com, you can see it. It says, actor and writer Robert Shaw, perhaps best known for his role as the shark hunter in Jaws, collapsed by the roadside yesterday and died of a heart attack, police say. He was 52. Okay, well, the article got it wrong because he was 51. Shaw became famous in movies like A Man for All Seasons, The Caretaker, and dozens of others before the film about the massive shark. But it was as a writer that he wanted to be remembered, and his success as a writer, though less known, was extensive. A police spokesman said Shaw became ill while driving his car near his home outside Tormakedy, Ireland, 150 miles west of Dublin. He stopped the car, got out, and died on the roadside, the spokesman said. This is a total shock. He was in excellent health. His family and friends are stunned, Shaw's public relations agent in New York said. Shaw had leading roles in numerous films. He was the cold-blooded assassin in From Russia with Love and the Israeli agent in Black Sunday, as well as Henry VIII in A Man for All Seasons. He wrote several novels. Most were not bestsellers, but one of them, The Man in the Glass Booth, turned up as a popular play in London and New York in 1967. Shaw was working on another book and recuperating from a sprained ankle, an injury he suffered while starring in his latest film, Avalanche Express, which will be released later this year. Another movie in which he played the leading role, Force 10 from Navarone, will be released soon. Wow, so he's got, a few movies in the can before even, that came out after posthumously. It says, born in Lancashire, England, on August 9th, 1927, the son of a doctor. See, even they say August 9th, 1927. They just couldn't do the math. The son of a doctor, Shaw grew up in the Orkney Islands of Scotland. His father committed suicide with an overdose of opium when Robert was 12. Wow. I did not know that. That's brutal. Shaw attended London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts for 2 years, then spent the next 6 years playing lesser Shakespearean roles in Stratford. As an actor, Shaw starred in every medium in Britain, television, stage, and movies. He appeared with the Royal Shakespeare Company in many West End plays and starred on Broadway from 1964 on. And that's That's it. That's the entire obituary that I could find. It's not a reprint. It's not a website. It is a scan of an old newspaper article from 1978. So I thought that would be kind of interesting to read. And really, all I can say is farewell and adieu, Robert Shaw. As I'm opening a can of Gansett, I'm going to honor the man and crush the can. Done. Oh my God. I just drank a whole beer. I did it for you, Robert Shaw. So that's the second time I have sucked down a beer and crushed it, an entire beer. The first time was a little more of like a celebration with Eric, and this time was just kind of I don't know, an ode to Quint, an ode to Robert Shaw, and I gotta tell you, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I think if I put some effort in, I'd be pretty good at this drinking thing. So the 4 minutes of this segment pick up with Quint at the helm, and they're basically his plan is to lead him in to shore and drown him, but he's just putting way too much on this boat that's already a little incapacitated because of the shark smashing the shit out of it, and getting all the water, in there and damaging things. But it seems like at this point he's not completely gone. He's not completely like without reason, but he's fairly close. Like it, once what happens. It's not like he goes crazy and he kind of mellows out a bit. But at this point, he's probably thinking, I know my boat. I know what I'm doing. I know its capabilities. I've done this before, but you could see the smoke just pouring out of his, out of the engine. I love it though. You see the barrels chasing the Orca, and you get the great shot that I feel like, I just feel like nobody told Robert Shaw to do this. They just said, be confident. I don't know what the direction was, but you have Brody and Hooper hanging on for dear life, and just looking at Quint. Well, Hooper's looking at Quint like, like this guy's losing his mind. And Quint just looks back, sees the barrels, and does that head nod, which is just, it just might be the coolest thing ever captured by a film camera. I don't know what else to say, but there's just a weird level of like, he's a little out of his mind. He's a little ornery. He is a little like obsessed. He's angry. He's stubborn. And it's like my way or the highway. And he's so stubborn that he just kind of like gets this look on his face, and he just breaks into, really, it seems like the one song he knows. With that, the Orca is dead. Let's be honest. That was it. Now so he's like, farewell, and like, no one's going to tell me what to do, singing his song. Now remember, we've seen him sing Farewell and Adieu at the beginning with the cage. We saw him sing it when they were drinking the night before. It was up to Hooper to change the song, and there he is singing it again. Never mind the fact that he sang it in the 50s in the Buccaneers. But he pushes this thing. There's a gauge that shows RPMs and in the hundreds. So this is at 3,000, so 3,000 RPMs. He has it pinned, and the Orca just can't take it anymore. Smoke everywhere. Hooper runs down below, and I don't know if he's down there to make sure his stuff doesn't get ruined. But when you see, I played the bit, you can hear like the explosion. When you actually see this happen, like there's an explosion with Richard Dreyfuss there, and like it looks like it's happening 2 feet behind his head. You see like this bit of like door or something. Like I cannot believe that little moment. That thing blows me away that it is 1 second, one quick second. When Hooper goes down, you see the explosion. Like that's not CGI. That is practical. That is happening right there. Now, maybe it's cardboard. Maybe there's something to be, that it's safe. I can't imagine. Like I would imagine, and I don't know, that when you're seeing the boat under water like that is not the Orca on the ocean. That is some sort of, set on a gimbal that gets moved around. I could be completely wrong. It could be literally they put a guy in the water holding a camera while they're on the boat in the ocean. I tend to think maybe not, especially when you have explosions like that. But when you think of like actors and insurance and actual people and stunts and stunt coordinators, that explosion, it is at the 46-second mark of this 4 minutes, is wild. Like it almost looks like Richard Dreyfuss would be like, what the F? So Quint grabs the fire extinguisher and puts out, whatever flame or smoke is going on in the engine. Hooper grabs a bunch of his equipment to get it out of the water and bring it out to the deck so that at least it's not completely underneath. We see back out, Brody's still watching the barrels. The barrels go under again, and you can just see Hooper looking like he looks and then he looks down. And to me, it's like, well, now what? Like now the fact that Quint smashed the radio. They have no way of calling and making a distress signal. Like he kind of like, he should have learned the fact that, remember when he said our mission was so secret, no distress signal was called. Like the fact that now they can't make a distress signal, it seems like, Quint, maybe you shouldn't have smashed the radio. Maybe you should have just said, not now, unplugged it, not now. Instead, you smashed the shit out of it, and yeah. Well, now it's coming back to bite you on the butt. But there are all three actors. There's very little said here. If nothing, you just see Brody looking off at the barrels going under, and he looks down almost like Hooper. And I love the camera. First, Brody looks down, then the camera goes down with him, and we see Richard Dreyfuss, and we see him, another look, just desperation. And then it's like it's heartbreaking when you see they go under, when they're in the under the boat, whatever the hell you call it, in the main room, I don't know, under deck, I don't know, below deck maybe, and you see Quint look around, and he just kind of, he's like, he looks like he's on the verge. He almost looks like he's on the verge of tears. Like his eyes look all red, and it almost looks like it's over. It's really over. Whatever happens, we're losing. But whatever happens, my ship, my Orca, is no more. And it just is a heartbreaking moment of him just looking around like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is happening. and he's just kind of staring off. And then you see him looking at something, and he looks around a little more, and it's really sad. And then he turns and he looks. He's standing right next to them, and he's not quite sure what it's like. He's mulling over a few things, and then he looks, and we pan over, and we see life preservers, life jackets, and I'm pretty sure I count 3 of them right there. And so we're like, oh, there's the life jackets. This is their last hope. We see a wide shot of the Orca on the ocean, leaning really badly. It definitely looks like it is completely stalled out and crippled. And Brody and Hooper are just kind of standing there. There's still some smoke. It's white smoke. It's not as bad as it was before. But that's the clip you get at the beginning. Quint, he now has his jacket back on, his hat back on. It's almost like he's kind of collected himself a little bit. And he comes out. He's like, Hoopa, Chief. He hands them each a life jacket. Remember, there were 3 life jackets underneath. But he told you, I'll never put on a life jacket again. He didn't. There were 3 there, probably because the Coast Guard requires it. But he only has 2. He did not bring out one for himself. So he gives them each a life jacket, and he just kind of stands there for a second. And it's almost like he's like, well, I tried everything I could do, tried my way. So Mr. Hooper, and then he starts asking about his stuff. That's the clip you get. Well, it's part of the clip at the beginning where he's like, what exactly can you do with these things of yours? And then Hooper's like, I think I can pump 20 ccm of strychnine nitrate into him. And he's like, if I can get close enough, he's like, with this little needle, you can get through his skin. He's like, no, but he's like, maybe if I can get him close in the cage, I can get him in the mouth. And Brody just yells at him. He's like, that shark will rip you to pieces. And he's like, you have any better suggestions? I love that line. You got any better suggestions? And that's really it as far as the audio in this segment. The rest of this clip is them setting up the cage. In fact, I don't think there's any more dialogue after that. We see them setting up the cage, the 3 of them, and we also see Hooper prepping the poison. And I like that the little jar he has says poison on it. He's filling up the needle, but then he guess he's putting it in. Oh, he's squirting that into the big giant spike, I guess, that's on the harpoon that he's going to try to stab the shark with. But that's not today. That's tomorrow stuff. That's Friday stuff. But that's it for this 4 minutes. It's a brisk one. They're all brisk. Like there's not. I think of like early on, you watch the 4 minutes of them around the dinner table. Guess what? It's 4 minutes of time. There's no difference. But that is a moment. That is a scene where it's like, it takes its time, and there's just people talking, and it's character development and it's dialogue. Where in the same amount of time here, it's like, we have the Orca stalls. They try to, come up with a plan. They yell at each other. They set up the cage. They get the poison ready. They get the life jackets. They realize the Orca's, Dunsky. And they put, this ends with Hooper inside the cage, inside the water. Even at that point right now, if I was Hooper inside that water right now, it would have seemed like a moment where I went, oh, and Brody was like, what's the matter? He's like, nothing. And then, of course, it's because I would have shat myself. Just the fact that Richard Dreyfuss is in the ocean, in the water, in this cage is pretty awesome, because this is not a tank. This is not a special effect. This is a boat on the ocean. And this is such a great shot because wherever they are, who knows how far off they are in the ocean, but every angle they show is so great because you don't see any land in the background. So it just makes them feel so alone and so isolated. And it's just another thing that is so awesome about this movie. So I have a Google phone, and I bring that up because what I notice is, like, I have these apps that are like, oh, we aggregate news, or we aggregate stories, or posts that might be of interest to you because you Googled something once. You know, like, oh gosh, I looked up this band once. Now I'm going to see a news report from them from some random radio station. They put like this Google News. There's an app. It's not Google News, but it's like Google Home or something. I don't know what it is. It's like Discovery page. And it's just a window on your phone where it shows recent things based on your quote unquote interests. So for me, it shows a lot of movie stuff, a lot of Boston sports stuff, a lot of wrestling stuff, sure. But it really is based on things you search too. Now you can say, I don't like this, I don't like that. So it kind of figures out, your interest. But what I notice is when I am working on a project, a month-long project, I will, I'll Google a lot of things and I'll type in Jaws, Back to the Future, Jaws, Christmas sitcoms. Like, I'll type these things in a lot. So Google is like, whoa, this guy's really into that. Let's show him everything that has to do with Jaws. And I feel like that is what happened when I saw a link to a product that I could buy right now from a company called Xyrena, or it's Xyrena. I'm going to say Xyrena because I don't know how else to pronounce it. And this is about as ridiculous as it can get. And yet it is an officially licensed Jaws product as far as I can tell. And I will put a link to this in the show notes. Now, I do not know how to pronounce this. It is very French, but it says Jaws, extrait de parfum. And the description says, you're going to need a bigger shelf to add this summer blockbuster fragrance to your collection. Xyrena, in association with Universal Studios and Amblin Entertainment, presents the first and only official Jaws fragrance, swimming its way into the cinematic scent archive in celebration of the film's 50th anniversary. The historic release has real bite, plunging you straight into the shark-infested Atlantic waters off Amity Island during peak tourist season. Jaws by Xyrena opens like a peaceful New England summer day. Salty sea air and an aquatic fresh citrus at the surface. Really? Then drifts deeper into heart notes of sugar kelp and warm mineralic beach sand. But danger lurks below, a tenacious base of briny saltwater, aged driftwood, bloody metallic ambergris, and a feral great white musk. Bruce approved and Quint tested, may he rest in pieces. You son of a bitch. This epic marine fragrance is one you can't chum the waters without. Dun 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 dun, don't miss out on this aromatic piece of movie history. It's Jaws perfume. What now? Now, what does this say? Wearability. Xyrena products both avant-garde and highly wearable modern fragrance, along with those that fall somewhere in between. Fragrance preference is entirely subjective. However, we provide our assessment of wearability below. This fragrance is an easy-to-wear, pleasant scent suitable for daily use. By placing an order, you're agreeing to the rules. And please don't pretend you didn't see them afterwards. This isn't The Sixth Sense, no twist ending. No returns, no cancellations. Shipping can take 1 to 2 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. Ingredients. Alcohol 40B. Parfum. And then a bunch of chemicals. I don't know who this is for. It must be... Here's the thing. The case it comes in is incredible. It looks like a VHS tape like case, like a classic 80s big I don't know what you call them, the big clam VHS where you open, not it would slide out the bottom, like it opens, like a book. And it's got the big Jaws poster on it, hi-fi stereo with the credits, but all the credits are, play on words for cents. And this is crazy. But what's crazy is Jaws is only one of the movie cents they have. So if I were to go to Zyrina's homepage, first of all, of course, Jaws is the biggest thing right on their page right now, but they have a bunch of perfumes. Some of them look like they're kind of like movie themes, like Cosmic Woods, I don't know, Camp Zyrina, Space Cake. Maybe Space Cake is a movie. I have no idea. But then there's definitely Nosferatu, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Sneakerhead. Isn't that something? American Psycho, Sleepaway Camp, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You want Texas Chainsaw Massacre perfume? There's only one place you're going to get it, and that's Zyrina. Happy Birthday to Me, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Creep Show the perfume. I mean, if I was into perfume, I would buy this just for the VHS cassette like looking box alone, if they weren't $98. Oh, Trick or Treat, there's another one. $98 for Silent Night, Deadly Night perfume. $98 for Sleepaway Camp or Creep Show, American Psycho, or Jaws. You want perfume? You want something that is very unnecessary like perfume? And by that I mean, like, I always think of, I don't know, I guess my wife wears perfume, so that happens. But I don't know, like, is this, like, do men still wear cologne? And I shouldn't say that I don't wear a fragrance, because that's not true. What I take a little Bed Bath & Beyond, a little coconut or a little mint, or my wife has one called Beach. And yeah, I put it on my arms every morning as I, am getting myself, looking beautiful for the day. But what I don't know is, like, what is this cinematic scent? It's called something to perfume, but is it unisex? Is it male? Is it female? Does it matter? I don't know. I don't even know if it matters. But like, I always thought perfume was, like for females and cologne was for males, or at least that was the way it was marketed. I don't know what the scent is for or who it's for, but it is a cool VHS box. So I feel like that's kind of the most important part. And the fact that it's Jaws, I would love, but to be honest with you, when I read the description, the smell kind of sounded kind of awesome. Like all those things. Cause I'm a sucker for like soaps you get at craft shows that like smell good. I have one now that's called like Campfire. I almost don't want to use it because it smells so good and I don't want it to be gone. I've got the cinnamon citrus. Okay, so maybe I'm into scents. I'm just not into perfume. Or the fact that I can buy soap for $7, fancy soap, and not perfume for $98. And also maybe it's because every cologne commercial still to this day feels like very douchey. And like you see like actors and they're like, what is the scent? It is desire. And they're like, they seem not self-aware of how ridiculous they look. Now, I don't see any commercials for the Jaws fragrance. Well, I did see a YouTube video, but it's just music that's reminiscent of the Jaws theme. It's not the Jaws theme with text talking about the fragrance. But I'm definitely going to put a link to this website on the show notes because you got to check it out. It's interesting. The fact that I feel like whoever owns the licensing, well, Universal Studios must be like, oh, do you want to do something Jaws 50? Sure, you got it. Boom, just sign here. Like, they're just letting anybody do it, including perfumes. So that is it for me today. But fear not, JAWGUST fans, I will be back tomorrow. And here's the fun thing. Tomorrow, I'm not doing it alone. In fact, I not only have one guest that's scheduled to come on tomorrow, I have two. That's double what I usually have. So I am really excited to get to that tomorrow. But that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. We're still here today. And today on August 28th, I one more time want to say rest in peace, Robert Shaw. Thank you. I am sorry that I didn't realize how much you've written. I would like to learn more about you in that aspect and see more films that you're in, because right now I think I've seen one and I love it, and it's the most memorable, and it's a special movie for a lot of people, and it is incredible. And it's this movie, by the way. I don't know if you figured that out, but I almost feel like to really honor the man is to see the other work you've done. So I definitely want to do that. But not today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is more Jaws. Saturday's more Jaws. Sunday's more Jaws. And then Monday, September. I don't want to think about it. I don't. So I won't. Think about it. I will think about one thing and one thing only. And that's talking more Jaws with you tomorrow. I will be back then. I hope you will be too. But until then, you can follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. The YouTube channel is Fans Not Experts. That's because the website is fansnotexperts.com. Mike, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel today. I appreciate it. That's it. I'm done. The beaches are closed. I will see you tomorrow with some special guests. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And here is my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.